How's it going, everyone? It is Andre Williams, and over here we talk stocks and we focus on one thing. Always protect your profits. And today we're going to be talking about NIO. It had a slight pullback on the Friday, and I've been getting a lot of requests saying, Dre, we need an update. We have a lot of volatility coming for the week, so I want to make sure you're prepared. I won't waste any more time. Let's jump into the agenda. If you're new to this channel, I just want to let you know we have timestamps down below inside the description. But if you're a shareholder, you're thinking about taking a position, I highly suggest you watch this full entire video. So the first thing we're going to go over is the technical analysis. We're going to be taking a look at the overall price action. We want to know support. We want to know resistance. We want to know what it looks like in the bearish case scenario and as well as in the bullish case scenario. And then we're going to be going on Fintel, taking a look at the recent institutional ownership and short interest information. The reason why this is important because it does have an impact on the way the stock performs. And then we're going to be taking a look at the order flow distribution. We want to know the buying and the selling behavior on the retail side and as well as on the institutional side. And then when all of that is done, we'll be going into the final thoughts and as well as some more details. So let's get to it. So we're going to do a technical analysis for NIO. Let's see how it performed on Friday. So it ended up closing at $20, being down 1.77%. On the low, it tested $19.83, and then on the high, testing $20.71. When we take a look at the volume stats on the day, you can see we traded at 59.574 million shares, and the average volume over 10 trading days is at 83.1 million shares. So we did have below average volume on the day, and we saw a little bit of a pullback in the stock. Now, when we take a look at our chart, which is a daily chart, you can see from the RSI down below, it is at 45.97. And then when we take a look at our moving averages here on the chart, we are below the 200-day, we're also below the 100-day, we're also below the 50-day, and as well as the 21-day EMA. So it is very clear to see that NIO is in a bear market. It did have a strong run up, but you can clearly see there has been some profit taking that's been happening. And now that we're seeing a good amount of selling pressure, if it ends up breaking through this level of $20, then I want to see support holding up right here around $18.91. If this level decides to break, then we'd want to see support hold up right here around $17.50. If $17.50 breaks, then of course we have a gap that needs to be filled to the downside, which is here right around $15.41. So this is one thing you're going to want to keep in mind of. I'm not saying that NIO is going to be filling in the gap for the coming week. I'm just giving you these levels if selling pressure decides to continue. If it decides to have a reversal, then we need to have that price action back above the 21-day EMA, which is at $21.06. The high of the day was at $20.71. So you'd want to see a break getting above the 21-day EMA, then getting above the 50-day, and seeing if NIO can reclaim back right here around $24. This is very doable if we have the volume coming into the play. We have seen this previously with NIO being on quite a strong run up. But what I see from this stock for the coming week is a move down to $18, and I'll be very curious to see what it could do from there. So now let's move on to the short interest information. So we're going to take a look at the recent institutional ownership and short interest information for NIO. Scrolling down further on the page, green rows indicate new positions, while red rows indicate closed positions. So when we take a look at the recent filings here, we see April the 5th, we have Centric Wealth Management that purchased with nice 40,385 shares. And then we also have Strengthening Families and Communities LLC that purchased 319 shares. We see for the first, we have AIM International Mutual Funds that closed out their position. And then we could see Vanguard Advice Select International that purchased 9,190 shares. And that's what we got for April. And now when we take a look at the short interest, the off-exchange short volume ratio is at 50.12%, and then for the off-exchange short volume, it is just over 14.67 million shares. Scrolling down further on the page, the short shares availability is at 10 million, updated 18 minutes ago, and then for the short ball-free rate, it is only at 0.25%. When we take a look at the history of the short volume, we can see for the close of the 7th, it was at 48.32, and then for the close of the 8th, being at 50.12. So it did go up quite a bit. And one thing we could see from all this information, NIO doesn't have short squeeze potential due to the fact the short interest percentage of the float is only at 6.06%. But it's still a play you want to keep on your radar due to the fact we have been seeing a good increase in regards to the short volume. So let's go on to the order flow distribution.
Now let's take a look at the order flow distribution for NIO. So we see on the inflow, it was at 170 million, and then on the outflow, it was at 166 million. So we had an inflow day. Taking a look at the breakdown, on the large, it was 1.33. On the medium, it was 129, and then on the small, it was 39.57. Taking a look at the outflow side, you can see on the large, it was 0. On the medium, it was 129, and then on the small, it was 36.94. Taking a look at the large scale orders in the last 5 days, you can see for April the 8th and as well as the 7th, they've all been inflow days. On the Friday that passed, it was at 1.33 million, and then on the 7th, it was at 2.33 million, and also we could see on the 4th, it was at 1.87 million. So out of the past 5 trading days, we only had 2 outflow days. Taking a look at the breakdown even further for the small scale orders, it tends to represent the retail side. We had more buying than we had selling. And then when we take a look at what happened on the medium, it was equal on both sides in regards to buying and selling. And then when we take a look at the large, it represents whales, institutions, and funds, we had more buying than we had selling. And then when we take a look at the turnover ratio, it was at 3.86%. And this is not too bad for a stock like NIO. We know it does see a good amount of volatility in regards to the price action. It does see a lot of volume as well. So when you put these variables together, there's going to be a lot of trading activity. So let's go into the final thoughts and we'll go over some more details as well. So for my final thoughts for NIO, before we get started, let's go over a recent press release to go over some latest updates. So we have it here. NIO to hike vehicle prices beginning May 10th. Here are the details. A day after NIO Inc. announced that it is suspending production due to component shortages, the Chinese manufacturer reportedly said it would soon raise retail prices of its vehicles. No surprises there. We know that there is an outbreak that's going down in China, and many companies have been halting overall production, and of course, it's going to impact companies like NIO. Let's continue. What happened? NIO plans to hike the price of its vehicles as well as its battery as a service rental prices beginning May 10th. CNEV Post reported, citing a statement posted by the company on its app. The proposed action comes in the wake of sharp increases in input prices, especially the prices of materials that go into batteries. No surprises there. We've been seeing this as a common trend happening in the EV sector. We've seen Tesla raising prices and many of their other competitors as well. NIO plans to increase prices of all of its SUVs, the ES6, the ES8, and the EC6 by 10,000 won or 1,571 USD. The prices of NIO's recently launched flagship ET7 sedan and the ET5 midsize sedan, due to be launched in September, will reportedly be kept unchanged. This is really good. The company also said the monthly rental fee of its long-range battery pack offered under the BOSS scheme will be hiked. There was one consolation, which is that customers who either reserve or pay deposit for buying NIO vehicles before May 9th will not be affected by the changes. This is actually really good, and it gives people some time. I like that. The company once again called for an understanding from its customers. After the spike seen this year, the battery material prices are showing no signs of let up in the near future. Founder and CEO William Lai was quoted as saying. So with this recent update, it is no shocker whatsoever. We also did know NIO did recently put out their delivery numbers. Compared to their peers, I feel like they could have done a bit better, but we also can't forget the fact, as far as quality is concerned, NIO is pretty much right at the top, being well better than XPeng, as well as taking into consideration Li Auto and also BYD. So knowing these variables, that's why for NIO, I still see some more upside in this play, and if it decides to pull back even further, it does provide an opportunity for anyone that wants to be a long-term investor. As far as for the price action, which I know many of you are looking forward to, if we have a pullback further, I want to see us hold support at $18.80. If this level breaks, then I want to see some strength at $17.60. Do know we also have a gap that needs to be filled to the downside around $15.30. I'm not saying that this gap is going to be filled for the coming week. I'm just giving you those possible levels just in case it decides to pull back further. Add that to your homework and as well as your due diligence. If you're looking for a bullish reversal, then you want to see NIO get to $21.56. And if it is able to do this and hold down support, then we could fill that gap to the upside, which is at $22.51. Add that to your homework and as well as your due diligence, especially if you're bullish on NIO for the short-term price action. Also, when we went on Fintel, taking a look at the short interest information, even though NIO doesn't have short squeeze potential, there's still a lot of shorts that are showing interest in this play. So that's why I'm not surprised about that, since we do have CPI data that's going to be coming out, and also with the recent news that they released. And with the CPI data coming out on April the 12th, here's what you want to keep an eye on. If we end up having numbers that are above expectations, then of course we could see a pullback in the market and it correcting. If it ends up meeting expectations or being below expectations, then I'm expecting the market to move up. And this is where I could see NIO making a move to the upside. So that's why I keep an eye on those numbers when they do get released. We also talk about this inside of the Discord. So if you're not with us already, I highly suggest you come in there, especially if you want to be a profitable trader in this market. So overall, my thoughts on NIO, I'm still bullish on this stock when it comes to the long term. I feel that they have a lot of potential. And as far as for the short-term volatility that you are seeing, if you are an investor, take advantage of it. Buy up those dips if you have high conviction. And if you're looking for a trading opportunity, it is clearly here inside of this play. So I hope you enjoyed this video, and let's see how this stock performs for this coming week. We'll talk soon.